I'm Diana McCullum.
Hey, I'm Andrew Rockme.
And this is Fan vs. Fan for The Flash, Season 3.
Oh. So fast.
I've seen you before, haven't I? Gary, right?
Barry
right.
Allen.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Sorry, yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. Who the hell is this? I created a whole other existence. There's even a Flash, so I don't have to be. More like Kid Flash.
Don't call me that.
I'm gonna help you stop the rival. You just kidnapped this one. No, I didn't. She's a scientist. We need her. Follow my lead.
The Flash doesn't follow anyone.
Listen to him, Wally. He's the Flash.
What's happening to me?
It's a side effect. Your original life will fade away. You won't even remember that you're the Flash.
A little quaking in your boots would be inappropriate.
Oh my God.
All right, so season premiere of The Flash. Let's recap a little bit. We left off last season where Barry has saved his mom and completely altered time. So in the season premiere today, we're dealing with FLASHPOINT paradox. Now suddenly we got a new timeline where Barry's mom is alive, as is his dad as well. So he's got a perfect home life. He's got an imprisoned Reverse Flash. He is falling in love with Iris all over again. Joe is a drunk. The Flash is actually Kid Flash, which is Wally. Wally gets stabbed through the stomach by his supervillain, and then to prevent all that, Barry undoes the thing that he did, and Flashpoint's over. That was the episode. Let's talk about the pros. All right, so pros of tonight's episode. Diana, what did you like?
I really liked the action in this episide. This
Okay.
was like a lot of energy, a lot of stuff going on, but they usually keep the fight scenes pretty minimal. Not pretty minimal, but like we don't see a lot of Flash running all that often. I think they really kick it up for the premieres. I really loved that fight with Rival. I thought the I thought it Wally didn't flank, and he was supposed to.
He should have flanked. He should have flanked just to do some basic teamwork, and you wouldn't have got stabbed through the stomach, causing everything to alter again.
They literally just discussed flanking.
Yep.
Didn't do that. Actually, I think Barry really failed on that. Although Wally's the one who turned around on him. Anyway.
Yeah, Wally turned his back to the villain and also didn't flank.
Really defeated.
He did not flank and then also turned his back on the villain.
Mistakes were made.
Yeah, mostly on Wally's part.
The twister into the crazy electrified super punch. I was like, that was great. That was a fun fight scene.
Yeah, that was a pretty fun punch. Like I felt it was all like a little anticlimactic in that fight scene. I didn't love it quite as much as you.
I thought it was one of my most fun fight scenes.
Really?
Yeah, I had a really good time with it.
Okay, I'm gonna say it was all right.
And I think I especially liked that they unmasked that guy immediately, because last season with the unmasking was like, come on, everyone had to get unmasked over and over again. I like that this season they were just like, we're not doing that again.
Right, true. But also they did that because it was nobody. He pulled his mask off and I'm like, hey? It was a little anticlimactic. It wasn't anyone we had met or had tension with before.
Yeah, but before they had unmasked him, I was spending a lot of mental energy being like, is that his dad?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, what about you?
All right, I get that. One of my pros of this episode was I really enjoyed Iris. I enjoyed Candace Patton. Basically, every version of Iris that isn't the traditional Earth 1 version of Iris is a fantastic version.
She's so great.
Earth 2, altered timeline, no matter what's going on, as long as Iris isn't the Iris that this show started with, it's great. And it's sad that they keep trying to go back to that one. Because I'm like, they actually had some sincere chemistry this episode between Barry and Iris. I was actually kind of getting along with the flirtation. It's still a little awkward that Barry has his memories, because one of the biggest problems with the show, and we've discussed it before, your brother and sister.
Your brother and
fight it all you want, say step brother and sister, you weren't related, Joe didn't officially adopt you, whatever the hell you want to say, your brother and sister, just admit it. Even when in this episode Iris was like, we were something else over there, weren't we? And they didn't say anything, and she was like, something with love, and I'm like, it's brother and sister.
Yeah, brother and sister is what Barry can't reply to your question is because you are his sister.
Yeah.
But back on the pro part, though.
But back on the pro part, one of the things about this series that's been the issue is that the unrequited love thing of being like, Iris never notices me as a love interest. So I'm like, it's because you're his brother.
You're his brother.
And then the second this altered timeline starts, I'm like, oh, now that she notices you, because you're not her brother anymore, as soon as she notices you, you've got a great rapport. There's actually some chemistry. Like, you have a very charming back and forth as two people who are not siblings.
I totally agree. I wonder if, like, even Candace Patton can't stand the brother-sister thing, so won't have chemistry in the regular timeline, and she just refuses? Because I 100% agree. She crushes it as every other timeline Iris. Earth 2 Iris with that crazy cool cop.
Yeah.
So great. This
really
Iris
good.
just she says she's a journalist and I believe her. She's helping out Wally and I believe her, and she's so much more interesting and dynamic, and there's just
way more depth to the character.
What is wrong with regular timeline Iris? They just cannot write that character well.
No, they have no idea what they're doing with that character, and they're afraid to permanently deviate from that character. They have no idea what to do with the fact that they're trying to write a romance around a brother and sister. They have no idea what to do with the fact that they've changed her career path like 8 times. They don't know what to do with Earth 1 standard timeline Iris. Every other version is amazing, highlights the fact that Candace Patton can have charm and electricity and charisma and strength and power and range as a performer, and I love seeing that, and the premiere, it showcased that I'm like, oh, you're a character that I could easily love. I could easily love this character.
Yeah, to the point where it's like, why are we leaving this timeline? If Barry loses his memories, he forgets he's your brother, all the creepiness goes away.
Everything's just mwah,
Every
mwah,
single creepy thing
mwah,
about the
good.
relationship, just gone. You weren't raised together, none of you remember each other.
Yeah.
Great relationship. This could be the perfect timeline.
Yeah, it could be. And also, like, fun, like, nice parents. Like, some of these familial moments with Barry this episode were really sweet and heartfelt as well. Like,
nice
having
parents.
mom and dad back together.
Everyone's alive.
Perfect timeline.
Cisco's a billionaire.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Everyone else, and even the other characters I usually have problems with. Caitlin, super fun. She doesn't know what's going on, but she was
fun.
Hilarious. Wally was funny and charming.
I bought Wally as Kid Flash. I was like,
totally
I was full in. I thought that he was a fun Flash, and his version was a character whose show I would permanently watch. I would watch the Kid Flash show.
Totally agree. I don't know why we're leaving the Flashpoint.
Yeah.
Let's go into cons on that point.
Let's get into the cons on this one. Alright, so let's talk about what we didn't like on tonight's Season 3 premiere. Diana, what are one of your cons?
Well, I think I'm probably going to speak for both of us and be like, what the hell was that ending? Why did we just leave the most perfect timeline ever? Literally, viewers, anyone, Andrew, give me one good reason why we left it.
I can't figure it out. Like, it ended with Wally hurt. But, like, he wasn't dead. He was hurt. Like, Barry killed his parents because Wally was hurt and because he was losing his memories. But, as he discussed, most of his memories are bad memories.
They're not great.
Which is why he wanted to rewrite the entire history of the universe from the moment of his worst memory. So why is he fighting to keep these memories that he doesn't like over the memories that he does of a world he enjoys, with a woman that he can be with a family that's alive, because of a injured Wally that we've only checked with an optometrist about?
They didn't even take him to a hospital. And even she didn't say he was dying. Even she was just like, he's not doing great, to the point where I'm comfortable going back to work.
Yeah, but
she wasn't even like, I'll stay here and
but I gotta go crank out some LASIK. You know, like,
get out of here.
Yeah, I gotta get that money.
Everything in this timeline is absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
And if you forget your memories, who cares?
Yeah.
And for a bit, it seemed like he was losing his powers, but then he managed to beat rivals. So I'm like,
they weren't really consistent with that either. Yeah.
And even if you did lose your powers, Wally is still alive and has powers. There don't appear to be metahumans because no particle accelerator exploded.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's a much
There's
safer world and
to
universe.
Fight. I also think you probably killed Ronnie. Like, particle accelerator was it?
Right.
Ronnie
when you consider how many people died through the particle accelerator and the villains and everything like that, like, Flash is really dooming so many people because he doesn't like losing a couple memories, and because Wally's hurt, an optometrist checked on him. Like, just a sloppy wrap it up real quick ending. And now here's the thing, too, that I think is going to be most upsetting about this, is that this is a terrible false premise to start the season with. Because obviously, going into the season, I thought this was going to be a season of Flashpoint Paradox. I thought
it was going to be at least 4 to 5 episodes. I didn't think whole season, but I thought 4 to 5 episodes.
Big enough that it was going to be like a large arcing story. But they really ramped it up in one episode, and now we're going to deal with the fact that it's back to the regular timeline, but Joe and Iris don't talk.
Your parents are dead! You just killed your parents!
You just killed your parents.
And you're like, oh no, Joe and Iris don't talk. She's alive.
Yeah, and the episode, rather than ending on the emotional reveal of Barry broken and hollow and knowing that he just made the decision that killed his parents, thousands among this universe created metahumans, doomed the actual Dr. Wells to the person impersonating Dr.
He just killed Dr. Wells.
And Dr. Wells' wife as well in that car accident that doomed them all. He just actively killed his parents and thousands.
Yeah.
All
Everyone
because
who died
he
in
didn't.
that singularity event.
Yeah, that's true too. All because he didn't like an injured Wally. And rather than the weight of all of that, it really ended with just like a 70s sitcom, you don't talk with Iris. It was such just a trombone slide whistle dumb moment. I didn't know how to process it.
I almost want to go back and be like, you know what? Reverse Flash was right. You are the villain, Barry.
Yeah.
You are the villain. You just killed so many people.
And you don't seem to be aware of it in any regard. Yeah.
If this episode had ended with Barry's happy, Reverse Flash breaks out and changes it back, that would have been heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that have been a heart-wrenching
So many better
episode?
places to go with it.
Yeah.
But I think now we're actually going to be dealing with a season of why don't Joe and Iris talk, and what did Reverse Flash do? And that is a really lame mystery. To start from your premiere premise was this just golden child.
I want to take a bite out of it.
Yeah, but you shouldn't because it's gold. It's valuable. And then you bite into it and you're like, it's chocolate that went bad.
Chocolate don't even go
It
bad.
takes a long time. Yeah, some bugs got in there. It's weird. This was such a betrayal of the finale of last season, of the premise of what the promise of this season was going to be, of the setup of what future episodes will be. Yeah, of the character, of the relationships, of the whole dynamic.
And I have to say this very quickly because the nerd in me always tries to follow these timeline-y things.
Yeah.
I'm very bothered by the fact that Reverse Flash is time is trying to correct itself.
Yeah.
Because the timeline where his mom didn't die would have been the natural progression
That's the
of
normal
time
timeline.
if no time travel had ever happened.
Reverse Flash is a time traveler who corrupted the timelines.
The very first timeline we start with is a corrupted timeline.
Yeah, the timeline we've been watching this entire series is a corrupted timeline.
Exactly. The timeline that should exist is the one Barry just made.
Yeah, and Reverse Flash is like, you've corrupted the timelines with your time travel. It's like,
No!
dude, do you know what you are? Your corrupted time travel, this is the premise of this show. That's everything.
There's no way his mom dying is that fixed point in time. You're time traveling.
Yeah.
You're the problem, right. Reverse Flash.
All right, I think
that's the problem.
You are the. Who's the villain now? All right,
I really don't know who the villain is anymore.
Those are the cons. Let's move on from the cons now, and let's talk Easter eggs. All right, so Easter eggs on tonight's episode. Diana, what did you notice?
I don't have a whole lot. This was for an episode set in an alternate kind of timeline where they can do some really fun stuff.
Not too many.
They didn't do too much stuff this time. So the rival is a Flash villain. Mm-hmm. He's actually a Jay Garrick villain though, so he's kind of he's JSA level usually kind of stuff.
Some old school Golden Age villain.
Old school took a formula to get his powers. Classic. Yeah, he would lose them every time the formula wore off, and that's when you had to beat him and stuff like that. So yeah, Edward Claris. He gets pulled back out of the timeline by Johnny Sorrow, but apparently this time he got pulled out by Dr. Alchemy in this, so I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know where this is going.
Okay.
And then, really the only other Easter egg I think
Who's Dr. Alchemy?
I don't
I mean,
remember.
you said that like it was a thing just now, and I was like, yeah, oh yeah. But
I've only read a couple stories
Okay.
with him. I mean, what his name
so
says. Alchemy.
is this guy going to be Dr. Alchemy?
No, Dr. Alchemy is a different villain. I think he's the season arc villain.
Okay, so is Dr. Alchemy just like messing with this dude at the end of this episode?
I
do you
feel
think?
like he's like, okay, so
Or
the
is,
rival
like-
gets his speed from a formula.
Yeah.
And Alchemy can make formulas. So I think he's
Okay.
gonna make him a villain.
Okay, so like the end of this episode is Alchemy being like, we're not done with Rival as a villain.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was Alchemy just being like, and I'm just a goof. Look at me go.
That explanation, really solid. But then the only
Okay.
other real Easter egg, I think, was when Cisco said that Rival making those twisters was he's like a weather wizard. And I'm like, that's the other guy.
That's the other thing that you
villain,
named.
who actually is a weather wizard.
Right.
I like that he still names things, though.
Right.
Why was he from New York, do you think?
Yeah, his accent was totally different. I don't know if
what's
anybody
up
else
with
noticed
that?
that. That suddenly, like, I'm a businessman. I'm Cisco Ramon, and I'm here to do business.
Yeah, like, is your
what?
billion-dollar
Huh?
company made on mob money?
Huh?
What happened?
What is? Yeah.
Cisco?
What? Huh? Where did this come from? Okay.
I don't know
All
where
right.
that came from.
Yeah,
It's weird.
'cause
Not an Easter egg, because I don't have an answer.
The
I
rest
just-
of your background seems the same. That
yeah.
story about your brother remained
Yeah,
identical.
so
Yeah.
up until you were 15, still the same.
One thing that I will say, I don't think it's a character from the comic books, but I do hope. I almost wanted it to stick around. This timeline chief captain. I liked that dude.
Yeah, Captain Mendez. I actually forgot to look him up. I don't
Oh.
know if he'll be the chief for.
Okay.
I don't know if he'll be a cop or whatever. It seems
Okay.
weird if they only have him for one episode.
Yeah, because he's a good actor. He's been in many things that I've enjoyed over the years, and I would like to see more of him. I liked the character of Captain Mendez. Yeah.
Let's
Just
see
hope
if
to see more.
Let's see if in this new timeline maybe he works with Iris wherever she is being angry.
Let's hope for a little something. Yeah. Was that everything that we had for
That's
Easter eggs?
everything we got.
Okay. And now in terms of online component, Will, do we have any questions on the live feed?
We got a lot of chat in the live feed.
Oh.
Loving Cisco, the alternate universe.
People are loving the alternate Cisco. I actually did kind of dig it, other than like the weird accent thing. But that was just
I
more.
don't even mind it. I just
Yeah.
didn't get it explained.
I don't. Yeah, like it's weird that they don't explain it or that it happens, but it's kind of fun and charming that it's there.
Well,
like,
also, why would you ever just like explain why you have an accent though? No one would.
Right.
No one would be like,
Yeah.
I have an accent.
But
for
his
this
look,
reason.
his style, like I'm down with the Cisco too.
I liked his whole swagger. I liked that they kept the oral fixation, but it's like but it's on healthy foods now. He doesn't eat candy anymore. It was all
right,
cellary
right.
sticks. I loved when he missed that basketball shot. Great
That
stuff.
missing that basketball shot was
It's
comedy
not even
gold.
close.
Just and then the second that he was like, anyway.
Glistom pointed out about that Cisco. He mentioned that he might have had a history with speedsters. You don't mess with speedsters. You get the old vibrating.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a really. Who was it who said that?
That was Glistom.
Glistom?
Yes.
Glistom. Yeah, that's a really good point, Glistom. We forgot to bring that up. But yeah. Clearly, Rival has murdered some fools in this universe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, Cisco seems a little shaken. Because the thing is now, Cisco bought this building. They mentioned that Cisco's a billionaire. He bought this building. He's like the richest man in the world. But they still don't mention what happened to this universe's Wells. So it's possible that Wells got ghosted by like the old vibrating hand or something.
The old
vibrating hand. The old zip zap zop. You know what I'm talking about.
So tiny.
And A. Michaels wants to know which Cisco you guys prefer, the rich billionaire one or,
So many Cisco questions.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's Earth 2 Cisco, there's Rich Billionaire Cisco, and there's regular Cisco. And I mean, like, I don't know. I think I got
Definitely not Earth 2 Cisco. He was evil.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. He
Not
was.
evil Cisco.
Yeah, I mean, like, he looks nice in a suit with his hair slicked back. I might have to go alternate timeline Cisco as my favorite Cisco.
I mean, I think I have to go original timeline Cisco because I do like nerdy references and puns. This guy doesn't seem to be punning as much.
Okay, but my rebuttal, that basketball shot he missed.
I
though.
feel like
That was playful as hell.
I feel like original timeline Cisco would also miss a basketball shot.
Okay.
If he had a net in the office.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, they're both good.
Fair enough.
Neither of us, so definitely not Earth 2 Cisco.
All right, fair
but
enough.
One of those Ciscos.
And Glistom again says the true villain of every Flash episode is Barry's poor decision making.
Yeah, Barry's not
get
thinking
behind
anything
that.
through.
Yeah,
like,
Barry has never made a pros con list in his life.
No.
He has never been like, what's going to benefit?
No, he's injured. Let's change all of time. Like, it's just insanity, you know? Yeah, and then like over on Twitter, we got David Foamsby over on Twitter saying that like Doctor Who makes more sense at this point, and I agree, because at least like Doctor Who or like other time travel properties have an inherent set of time travel rules and properties that they try to obey and follow, whereas in this it's like, yeah, like Reverse Flash talks about corrupting the timeline, but he corrupted the timeline. Everything changed since Barry saved his mom, and then Barry moved forward into the future of that, but where's the kid version of Barry that grew up in that timeline with his parents?
Is there another Barry in a
There
closet
should be a
somewhere?
second Barry out there somewhere. This is the type of time travel thing where, with their own internal logic of time travel, there should be another adult Barry that he has to avoid or murder to take over the life of.
It's the old avoid or murder scheme.
It's a classic
It'll get you every
conundrum.
time.
Yeah.
It'll get you every time.
Yeah. What else do we got going on there? Well, I feel like you got something else to say.
Mr. James Hopkins wants some clarity on that last scene. What do you guys think happened there? The implication with Iris.
With
James
Iris.
Hopkins. So James Hopkins wants to know what's going on with Iris in the last scene. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of like it. I really thought they were trying to play it up. They played it up so severely that I was like, "Oh, Iris is dead in this universe."
Oh.
But they don't talk, and I'm like, what?
I feel like it will be something really simple, like she doesn't forgive him about the finding out her mom is alive thing.
Oh.
Remember when she found out her mom hadn't been dead for her entire life like she thought?
That's right.
I feel like that's a pretty legit thing to be mad at your dad about.
Right.
And if she's still not talking to him, it would explain why they still know about Wally and Wally's there.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's a distinct possibility. I thought it was probably just going to be the reverse of what this alternate timeline that we saw was, where it's just like she's a drunk. I mean, this timeline we just saw, for some random reason, Joe's a drunk who can't get to work on time, and they're not really talking anymore because of that. So I'm like, it's probably just some of that garbage.
Well, again, I filled in my own story there. I was like, oh, after his wife left, he didn't have Barry to be like this optimistic ray of light in his life, and he never recovered. But I'm like, your daughter wasn't good enough, man?
Yeah.
Like, she was still around.
Yeah, I don't know. Either way, it's
Anyway.
it's not great.
So yeah, I think it's gonna be angry mom stuff.
So just a couple more. A. Michaels is saying that he found the Reverse Flash like weirdly charming in this one. Like, he's been super evil up to this point, but he was kind of like mischievous and...
Yeah, I agree with A. Michaels. Yeah, that like the Reverse Flash actually did feel like kind of like a fun, playful, a traditional Flash villain, like a fun foil that just kind of goes back and forth and like doesn't do any real damage. I mean, I know he murdered his mom, but yeah, like the performance, just every scene that they had together, it felt kind of charming and playful.
I totally agree, and I think this is the first time that this actor has really gotten to act with Grant Gustin, though, because normally it's Wells as Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
And if you are enjoying this actor as Reverse Flash, he is going to be on Legends of Tomorrow. That's kind of a spoiler, but also like if you want to go over to that show and watch him.
Oh, okay.
I do know that much. I don't know how or why.
Well, he can time travel.
That makes a lot of sense. Answer that question pretty quick.
Yep.
All right.
Just finally a note from Mr. Nargang on Twitter. Guys, I've had a lot of feelings about The Flash, or had them. I feel like they were all dashed by the end of this episode.
Dashed? Like a speedster?
I don't think Nug meant that pun.
I don't think he did either.
He's better than that.
We're all heartbroken
He's better than
about
that.
Barry letting us all down.
Yeah, that was... I agree with Nug. Like that. Like, oh yeah, that ending was rough. That ending was rough and kind of dashed a lot of my hopes for this season. And
yeah, there's a reason Barry walked into his home and didn't tell anyone he just time traveled, because he'd probably be pretty embarrassed.
Yeah.
Just be like, oh, I just left a timeline where everyone's alive and it's fine.
And if you had have asked me a week ago what I thought was going to be happening on this season of The Flash, with everything that happened in the finale and everything that was being teased in preparation of this, if you had have asked me a week ago what's going to be happening on this season of The Flash, I had very like cohesive ideas and expectations where I'm like, it's going to be blah, da, 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 da. And now, like, after this episode with that ending, I'm like, I know what's going to be happening on next week's episode. And I don't know what the point of this whole season is going to be. And, like, I would like to know a seasonal arc. I'm like, I guess this guy Alchemy is going to show up. Maybe Rival will goof around some more. But I'm like, a bunch of goofs don't make me excited for this season to be like, oh, we're gonna have a couple goofers coming in. I need I need an arc. I need a plot. I need something more than what the first 10 minutes of next week's episode is going to be, which is all this premiere game.
We need a mystery. We need a vendetta. We need to know where we're going. And we need to know that Barry isn't just going to murder people unnecessarily through time travel.
You know what? Yeah.
And lastly, guys, just on the subject of Rival, it looks like we're going to be seeing more of Daryl Vega, who just subscribed.
Hey, Daryl Vega.
What do you guys think of his costume?
Oh, yes, that was actually going to be one of my other cons that I never got the chance to bring up. His costume was just straight up embarrassing. Like, I don't know what the hell that with the big pointy like Vulcan ears.
I was gonna say it was more like if you took like a clown costume and made it into a speedster outfit.
Okay, it was Stephen King meets Star Trek meets Zoom. It was weird.
Not a thing I've ever wanted. Yeah, I really hope in this timeline he'll have a better costume. Like that was like the quick one they kicked out for this one. Although Wally's looked good.
Wally's costume, I think, looked great. Yeah,
really
that was
good.
solid.
Traditional Kid Flash.
That was very solid.
But the Rival one was made me not think he was going to be a returning villain because I was like, oh, they kicked that out super quick because this guy's only in one episode. But,
and also, like, just like the red and yellow kind of like jonky like crack going down the chest as well. Like in the black costume, I'm like, if you're gonna do a black costume, you need just like one splash of color to make it kind of like powerful. But being like, and there's yellow and red, and it's kind of like a jonky crack. Like I'm splitting time with my flashiness. I'm like,
and also if you're
gonna go home, Rival.
Also, if you're going to do a black costume, do it before we see Zooms. Because Zooms is terrifying and amazing.
Yeah, before we poop ourselves because we saw Zoom. Like, that's terrifying.
With his
it's the voice of Candyman and stuff. Like, that's
mouth melts.
That's crazy powerful. But yeah, Rival was like, that was an embarrassing costume. That was a little rough. Yeah. But I think that covers everything for the season 3 premiere of The Flash. Tune in next week. Check us out. We'll also be doing the live stream next week. Tweet along with us during the episode using the hashtag FanVFan, and we'll talk about we'll talk about your tweets maybe here on the show. But also join the live feed, watch and comment. It'll all be 9 Eastern time next Tuesday. We'll be back with season 3, episode 2 of FanVFan.
Yeah, and subscribe on YouTube so you never miss us. These go up after they're done being live.
Yeah.
Follow Dorkshelf on Twitter at Dorkshelf.
Yeah.
And you can find both of us at when we're not doing this at FromSuperheroes.com.
There we go. I'm Andrew Ivemy.
I'm Diana McCullum.
This has been Fan vs. Fan.